everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm just going to be talking about superheroes regarding gender swapping and race swapping and things of that nature. But before I get into it, please subscribe to this channel, ring that bell icon down below to be notified when I post new videos, and hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, and also please share with your friends so I can help this channel grow. Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Well, so a lot of things I've been talking about recently have been about heroism and superheroes in general, and characters being either switched out. But in this video I want to talk about race swapping specifically. They're all about identity politics and race politics these days, and to the point where it's actually at the detriment of the black community and Hispanic community and all that. Being Hispanic, I don't personally care about whether or not a character is Hispanic. My favorite character is Superman in the comic books, and when it comes to Marvel, my favorite character is Captain America and Spider-Man. These are the characters that are my favorite. And when you have other characters in other comic books, like right now my favorite indie character is Isom from the Rippaverse comic books. I recently got a copy. I'll probably post a video of it. But one of the things that I've been noticing recently very, very often is the lack of clear concept of what they understand, or what they've come to understand as politics in general in comic books, thinking that you need to include identity politics in terms of race. And so much so that they will swap out a character that is traditionally white or Hispanic with a character that's black. And now, mind you, there are good moments when that's happened, like with Nick Fury. When they swapped out the role with a black dude, it didn't really matter. It really was, like, it did well. It was a good way to actually tell the story. In fact, the Nick Fury, when they cast Samuel L. Jackson in the role, it really worked. And it was just fun to watch. He was good. He was good for the role in general. He portrayed the role well. He was strong. He just seemed very authoritative, and he did well. He didn't have to be white. But other times, they will literally just place a copy-paste version of a character without any personality, without any, like, they'll just take the name of a character and put it onto a black person and say, hey, you must accept this character as she is, or as he is. But that's not how you tell a story. And if you want to race swap something, sure, go ahead. I don't really care, as long as the character actually has personality and it's not just another copy paste black person, former thug, turned into a superhero. That's like, if you want to go that route, then go with Static Shock, who grew up in a ghetto environment, who then became a superhero. He himself he didn't have thug mentality. He had a good heart. He was noble. He was just. He was a superhero at heart already. That's why he didn't go insane when he became a bang baby. It wasn't a huge leap. It was good storytelling. Now that is something I would love to see in a movie. Instead of race swapping other characters, other white characters, there's popular characters who would deserve a good movie or a good live action series. And that would be Static Shock. Static. Virgil Hawkins. This is a character that I would love to see, a black character in a movie or a show. There's other characters like Icon and his sidekick Rocket, and you have Storm from... I mean, Storm wasn't traditionally... It's not a DC character, it's Marvel, but as most people already know at this point, I'm just new to these videos. I'm just talking. But anyway, you have other characters that they swapped out, like Falcon. They turned him into Captain America. Falcon had his own identity, his own role, his own name, and they just turned him into Captain America. I mean, if they were going to turn anyone into Captain America, it should have been Bucky. Bucky in the role would have been more entertaining, more interesting to see him adjusting mentally from former super soldier criminal, the Winter Soldier, and turning him into Captain America. I mean, he would have earned the role just as well as Falcon. Falcon should have just remained Falcon. That would have been so much better. Fun. Light-hearted. Falcon and the Winter Soldier series kind of seemed pointless at that point. And honestly, it's kind of sad because of the fact that I would have preferred just for him to remain Falcon. Granted, I enjoyed elements of that show only because their interactions were fun. They're entertaining, and showing the other characters, it was good. It was just, at the end, it seemed a little preachy, kind of pointless, and that's coming from a preacher, a youth pastor. Anyway, when it comes to other characters, you have Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel. They have Captain Marvel in the movies, and granted, he's not the one that I'm accustomed to, Shazam. But when it comes to Captain Marvel, I've always known Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel. That's the one I grew up with. It's the one I read as a kid. The one I read when I was a kid, but young teenager. It's a kid. But growing up as in that age, I read Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel. I didn't like Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel. Now, as Miss Marvel, when she was Ms. Marvel or just Marvel, whatever you want to call her, when she was not Captain Marvel, she was more honorable, down to earth. She had a better personality. She had heart, and even an even better one would be Rogue as as Marvel. Rogue, when she became Miss Marvel, that one was even better. But the fact is, you have all these characters that they keep race swapping and throwing at. I mean, even with the new Spider-Man movie coming out, they're race swapping Jessica Drew with a black Spider-Girl. They could have just put in a black Spider-Girl. They could have made one up, for all I care. It would have been better, actually, if they had just made one up. Because it's a Spider-Verse. You can do anything at this point with that. You have so much potential. There's apparently other characters who were black and were Spider-Girl. And just do that. That would have been so much better. And the fact is, no one cares about race when it comes to superheroes. It's about telling a story. Now, I understand there are people who probably do love the fact that you have someone that looks like them. That's fine. Good for them. If that's what they enjoy. Personally, like I said, I grew up enjoying Superman. I mean, it's just what I grew up with. He didn't have a tan look. I'm naturally tan. Right now I'm not because of lack of sunlight. But when it comes to these characters, you need to tell a story more than their skin tone. You can't just establish a character on their skin tone. A character is more than their skin. Heroism is beyond skin deep. It is at your core. It's within you. It's something that rises up within you to take responsibility with the powers that you have and do good. That is heroism. To rise up to meet the challenge head on against a threat that seeks to cause harm. Risking your own life potentially if you are not used to having powers, but generally this is what the storytelling lacks. Now you can tell a story about a lovable character who's been race swapped, and that's fine as long as the character actually has the heart of the original. Otherwise, it kind of makes no sense. It's kind of like when they swapped out Amdal in Thor. Many people are upset about that. I didn't really care because of the fact that they could do what they want with Marvel. It doesn't matter. It's just as long as the role is played well. But even that was like they swapped it out for nothing because of the fact that they didn't give him enough. They didn't give him enough screen time. They didn't give him enough purpose beyond being the gatekeeper. All these characters who were mistreated, thrown to the side, and just thrown into the mix as though, like to say, here, black hero, here, Mexican hero. So they brought in Submariner as a character to kind of, who was race swapped as Hispanic, Mexican, or whatever you want, Aztec. And personally, I didn't care. The movie was very dull to me. It was beyond the fact that they're trying to honor Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman, and that's fine. They can do that. That part was fine. And even I love the actors like the one who was his sister. I mean, you just have all these actors who were really holding up this movie. The storytelling behind it was bland because of the fact that it was all stereotypes. Nothing but stereotypes. Like, why did Namor have to be Mexican in his personality too? Namor could have just been Namor, however you want to pronounce it. I always pronounce it Namor, but because of the fact that I barely read the comics, I'm not a huge fan of the character to begin with. But there are people who are huge fans of this character, and they didn't get to see the one that they wanted. And he didn't represent the character the way he was supposed to be. He was more of a territorial person, and it kind of seemed awkward. So, when it comes to these characters, don't just make a character for the sake of, creating a character that is of a certain race. If you're going to create a character, make him have personality, make her have a core that actually relates to the original character. Make sure the character actually reflects the heart of the original and the history of the original. Don't try to undo it and remove things. It's just something that seems to be off with these movies today. They don't want to honor the history of the original characters. And if you're not going to do it, just don't do it. We'd rather you not do it at all. I mean, it's all par for the course at this point. They've already done it, but still, I want to see characters that are fun and that have personality. I mean, you got Iron Man. Iron Man did well. There's a reason why he was so successful. He already had Robert Downey Jr. in the role, who, even though his fame was kind of infamy at a certain point when he first started, he rose to the challenge and did good. He played the role well. He really was the true embodiment of Iron Man. And I kind of felt the same thing with Captain America and Thor. You have all these characters who reflected the characters well. And then suddenly, after you go into these side characters that are newly added bonus characters who are really just copy pastes of the original, it's race swapping things just doesn't work. And swapping out characters for whatever you want just so that you can fulfill some sort of agenda kind of ruins and taints the whole thing. Now, I know there are people out there who could do great things, tell great stories, and I have faith that people will rise to the challenge and write a good story one day. Granted, it may take time. You may need to reboot everything. But I think there's hope. There's always hope. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about for today in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up button down below and ring that bell icon to be notified when I post new videos, and please subscribe. Also, share with your friends so that we can reach more people with this channel and help this channel grow. Well, that's all I'm going to talk about. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.